And speed.
Come and speak.
Right.
And speed.
And speed.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
Well, I'd like to agree with Marcus and with you, actually. What we have here is we have a group of criminals who have more or less taken over our government. The form of government we have is exceptional. The Constitution is not written for you and me. It doesn't pertain to us at all. It's a contract that puts the federal government in a box. It's what it's supposed to be doing. And now, the militia is there to help people who are against our form of government, and maybe not necessarily against the thugs who've taken over themselves. But that doesn't mean that we, the people, still don't have our individual rights to keep and bear arms and do what we feel is necessary. But if we rise up as a people and destroy our form of government, the only form that's going to give us the freedom, I'm saying that we have to, as people, follow the law to force our representatives to follow the law. The damage that's been done to our country was done before any of us were ever born. There's nothing we could have done about it because we weren't here. If you go back to 1930, you can see the damage, and way before that. But Marcus is right, that we can't lay down. We cannot give in to say that, we're not going to be armed. And it's good that they know we're armed, and I think the Obama administration is pretty well aware that we're all armed to the teeth and we're willing to build ammo in Virginia. Okay? I'm all for that job. Let's build ammo.
Can I be also clear on my position on this? My position, just like we talked about from the beginning of the meeting tonight, is a counteroffensive position. In that, yes, the media and a lot of people would like to portray gun owners as being, the part of the problem and everything. I'm always on the offensive on all these issues. I don't feel that the problem, and now there may be an issue, but I don't feel that there is with people forming their own militias. I feel that the problem, and we can add this to the list of grievances, the problem is that once again, this government, federal and state, has failed our Constitution. They have failed their constitutional obligations. That is the problem. We need to be going to our senators, our representatives, our president, and saying, why are you not providing for the arming, equipping, and training of the militia? Why are you not following your constitutional mandates? Why are you, in addition to everything else that's been done, the Federal Reserve, the income tax, the health care legislation, the McCain-Feingold bill, the Patriot Act, and a whole litany of grievances that read startlingly similar to what our list of grievances against the King of England was. So, just add that one to the list as far as I'm concerned.
That's a good point, and also I would like to make a point based on that as well. That another thing that we can do is these laws that are in place or statutes that we don't like, we have to press our elected representatives to change those and make those good laws. But the problem is, whether they're good or bad laws, they're still laws, and they're still on the books. We may not like driving 35 miles an hour on Route 419 past Tanglewood, but if you don't do it, you're going to get a ticket.
Neil,
and that's what the problem is.
Again, Neil, I totally disagree with you. I served in the Marine Corps. A lot of folks in here have served in the military. Everybody in the military knows that not only do you have no obligation to follow an unconstitutional or unlawful order, but you have an obligation to not follow it and to stop it.
To defy it,
I think I might be able to define that for you. One thing that you really need to have to go along with the Constitution is the Declaration of Independence. You come down to the second paragraph, it says, on down in there, that to secure the rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers and consent to be governed. That whenever any form of government becomes destructive to these ends, it is the right people to alter, abolish it, and to institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such form. So I think that's real important. I think it goes along with what both of you are saying, but the Declaration of Independence frames your Constitution, and it tells you exactly what your founding fathers were thinking when they wrote the Constitution. So if you've got that to go with it, you understand what their intent was. So I would encourage everybody to get a copy of that too.
That promise was actually broken by Abraham Lincoln at the onset of the Civil War.
True.
The paragraph you read.
Yeah.
Well, we we still have the, go ahead.
Well, I think the point that everybody in here would agree with is if the governing power of the militia is tyrannical to the people, we have the right to protect ourselves. And if we don't have the right to form a militia to do so,
Well,
the Declaration of
but
Independence clearly states we have the right to
Well, that might be right, but as Phil and I have talked about a lot before, if it has reached that point, then it's good chances are the Constitution becomes irrelevant anyway. So if it comes to the point to where the military is running around attacking people, which I don't see ever happening, not in any major proportion anyway.
You need to look into Kent State, Neil.
This is exactly the point behind the militia, what you
Yeah.
said, is that the militia is not there to ever be used. It's there for contingency purposes. It's there as a deterrent. And if it comes a point that the standing army is being used against the people, and the people have not been wise enough in advance to prepare for that day, then the people are fools and they don't deserve their freedom.
Exactly.
So that's the point of the militia entirely.
But
We got some people.
I want to hear from the back of the room.
Well, I'll follow up with what Marcus said, and I want to ask you some quick questions. How many of you in here have a weapon on your person right now? Okay. How many of you, at one point in your lives, have taken an oath to uphold and defend the Constitution of the United States? Good show of hands. Now, on that same facet, how many of you have taken an oath to uphold and defend the United States government? Nobody. Yeah. We took our oath to uphold the Constitution of the United States. We took our oath to stand outside that box to make sure that it doesn't go out. How many of you are able-bodied and between the ages of 16 and 55? Congratulations. You are in Virginia. You are a member of the Virginia Unorganized Militia under Virginia Legislative Code 44, Section 1.
You're 73, where does that put you?
You guess you're probably a 4-star general.
If you can get your socks on, we're going to let you in.
But what all that... Yeah, exactly. What all that ties into is that...
Order authorizing his office to place all the militias and the National Guards under Homeland Security.
George Bush did that in the Patriot Act.
He just signed it last week.
It was signed yesterday. That was the point I was going to make.
Well, I haven't heard about it, so I'd like to know, what does that do with the order?